Well, it's certainly been a while since I've done a review. Hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas season this year. Or whatever it is you guys celebrate. Last year was a bit iffy, but I made the best of it. And this year, I'm doing the same. So, little known fact about me, one of my favorite activities to do around this time of year is watch Christmas movies. And yes, I'm referring to all those Christmas movies that everyone knows and loves. You know, movies like A Christmas Story, The Polar Express, the Santa Claus Trilogy, Jingle All the Way, and let's not forget one of the funniest Christmas comedies of all time, Elf. Yeah, Elf. You remember it, right? It's the movie that stars Will Ferrell as an elf who is unlike any of Santa's other elves at the North Pole. And that's because he's human. And after discovering that he's human, and learning about his biological dad who lives in New York City, he sets off on a journey to meet him, win him over, and bring Christmas cheer by singing loud for all to hear, and take part in other hijinks along the way. I freaking love this movie. There are so many memorable and quotable moments. And I actually remember seeing this movie in theaters as a kid. It entertained me so much back then, and it still entertains me to this day. And you know what else entertains me? Electronic gaming. Did you know that there are companies out there that will make games based on movies in an attempt to cash in on them? Yeah, they do. And a majority of the time it flops, no matter if the movie itself is good or not. But what about Elf? There was a game based on it for the Game Boy Advance. Is that any good? Well, first off, how in the heck do you make a game based on Elf with the kind of story it has? Well, leave it to Crave Entertainment to answer that question. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the game begins with a screenshot from the movie, and then it's on to the first level.
What in the name of Sam Hill is that?
Oh god, buddy, what did they do to you? His sprite looks like it was horribly digitized. You know how in the original Mortal Kombat arcade games the characters were all animated using digitized actors? I feel like that's what they were going for here, except here, it looks awful. What's up with this walk animation? It's like how Waldo walks in the Where's Waldo NES game. To recap, he walked around like a complete dee-dee-dee, and so does Buddy in this game. I guess that's kind of fitting for his character though. But look at his jump animation. What is that? I guess it's similar to how he was hopping around the streets of New York City when he first got there. Anyways, the first couple levels are straightforward. You just keep walking and hop over obstacles and collect candy for points if you want. One thing that's really annoying are these polar bears that look like a rejected Microsoft Agent character. You can only jump over them if they're walking towards you. If you try doing so when they're walking the other way, you'll just take damage. Now you would expect to just take a hit, gain some invincibility frames, and just keep moving forward. But no, in this game, if you take one hit, it sends you all the way back to the last checkpoint. Yeah, that health bar might as well be replaced with a life counter. And it's not immediate either. It slowly scrolls back to the checkpoint before you respawn, as if the game wants you to take in all the progress you've made and now have to do over. But back to the polar bears. You have to slowly follow them until they turn around to face you. Then you can jump. There's also these gumdrop trampolines. My first instinct was to press the jump button as I bounced to go higher, like in Mario games or the Donkey Kong Country games. But no, that's not how it works in Elf's world. You're supposed to just keep bouncing on it without pressing any buttons. The more times you bounce on it, the higher you will go. So after you beat the first two levels in which you must traverse from one side to the other, the game then pulls a Tony Hawk and has you collect letters that spell New York in order to progress. Then after that level, we get to... oh god, the iceberg level. This is where the game really starts to frostbite me in the ass. Instead of another side-scrolling level, we now have ourselves a level in a top-down perspective. Here, you must keep hopping from one iceberg to the next, and it's not very easy at first. All that you have to guide you is a tiny-ass shadow, and you got all these tiny-ass platforms to jump on, and if you fall, it's back to the last checkpoint. Once you get it down though, the level isn't too bad, except for the fact that it goes on for what feels like forever, like this part right here. You have to wait here for a while, until an iceberg appears so you can jump on. What kind of bullcrap is that? It's like that one part in Earthbound where you have to wait at the waterfall before you can access Belch's factory. Okay, to be fair, that was for like 3 minutes. In this game, it's like 30 seconds for the iceberg to show up. So after that long-ass level, you play another long-ass level where you're now sliding down a snowy hill all the way to New York. Yo, look at Buddy though, he's all hunched over like he's a monster chasing down the Scooby-Doo gang. So now we have a time limit. But thankfully it's nothing to worry about, as there are several clocks scattered throughout the level to refill your time. So after that, we finally have another side-scrolling level where you have to avoid raccoons. I guess Buddy learned to stay the hell away from them after his attempt to hug one clearly went over well. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this next level is probably one of the worst ones of the whole game. It's another top-down level. You must walk the streets of NYC and collect 20 Christmas lights. You'll have to cross the street several times since the lights can appear on either side of the road. And of course, there are cars that can hit you if you're not careful. Now, at first, it doesn't seem too bad. So, what makes it bad? Well, for starters, there's the fact that your health drains for seemingly no reason. Seriously, why does this health drop? Maybe the fumes from every passing vehicle? I don't know. So your health decreases over time. What do? Well, according to the message shown before the level, you regain your health by running around in a revolving door. Ah, like in the movie! Except in the movie, Buddy got sick from that. But at least the game was nice enough to inform you on how you regain your health. But what it lacks to inform you is that after running around in a revolving door, a guard will come out and chase you. Gee, thanks. Now I have to start the whole level over. But now I know for future reference to run across the street once you get done regaining your health. The guard wouldn't even dare to cross the road. He's all like, nah, screw that, I ain't getting hit by a damn car, it ain't worth it. So slowly but surely, you get all 20 lights, and then proceed to the next level, which are 2 mini games that go back to back from each other. First game has you connecting these tubes to send mail through. Just rearrange the path to match the color of the packages. The second game is basically a memory game, where you hit the buttons on the elevator in the right order. I guess Buddy has learned by then not to hit them all at once. You play these minigames 3 times each before moving on to another minigame level, which is a snowball fight. Like in the movie! But instead of fighting some local assholes, you have to fight a bunch of elves. Weird, but okay. You use the L and R buttons to move Buddy, and the D-pad aims your cursor. B ducks, and A throws snowballs. You just keep throwing your snowballs, hit the elves, avoid the Santas, and just wait for the timer to end. Oh, I remember this part of the movie! This was a real highlight! Yeah, you remember this scene, right? It's Christmas Eve, and Santa's flying around on this sleigh drunk as shit. He starts dropping his presents, and now Buddy has to walk up and down this neighborhood of colorful houses, pick up the presents, and just toss them into their yard. But seriously, like the last level, it just goes on and on and on. I'm telling you, Santa could deliver all of his presents, spend an extra long time on the shitter, and then deliver more presents in the amount of time it takes for this level to end. Thankfully, that's the last level with a timer you have to wait out, and only 2 more levels to go. The next one has you going through Central Park to collect parts for Santa's sleigh. And by parts, I mean these nuts! Ha! Got him! Sorry, I had to seize that opportunity. Oh, I forgot to mention, the music composer got lazy and resorted to using Christmas music. The previous level with Drunk Santa played Oh Christmas Tree, and this level plays Jingle Bells. You know, Jingle Bells, deck them halls and all that stuff? Because that's very fitting for a level where Buddy has to collect Santa's nuts while avoiding Central Park Rangers. So after that, we're finally at the last level, where you actually get to play as Santa. You have to collect 20 bells to power up his sleigh with Christmas spirit, all the while listening to We Wish You a Merry Christmas. This level can be a bit frustrating because first of all, you have to wait for your stamina to build up a little bit before you can actually rise up the sleigh. You do that by holding the A button, and letting go of it has you descend. But holding A also increases your speed, so collecting the bells is harder than it looks. It feels a bit awkward to control, and honestly it's one of those instances where I can't describe it as well. You have to play it for yourself to understand how it feels. And that's the game. Congratulations, Buddy the Elf has saved Christmas. Yeah, and I wish I could have saved my precious time and not have wasted it playing this. Elf is one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, but this game just flat out sucked. Was it really necessary to make a game based off of this movie? I mean, not every movie has to have its own video game, though I'll admit there were some movies that had potential to be adapted into fun video games. But did anyone ever watch Elf and think, oh gee whiz, that would be a fun game to play on my Game Boy Advance SP? I know you guys are going to consider the words that are about to fly out of my mouth to be very harsh, but the folks who thought Elf would make a wonderful and successful video game on the Game Boy Advance are a bunch of cotton-headed ninny-muggins. Yeah, I said that, and I ain't apologizing. Now, I'm not saying that it was always doomed to fail. I'm sure they could have made it work, but the past is the past. It didn't work. One of the main issues I had with this game was that each and every level dragged on. Well, okay, not every level, but most of them. And what's sad is that this is actually a short game, only 12 levels, but it still felt like it was dragging. Like, when the hell is this level going to end? It's a weird feeling. You know that saying, the days are long, but the years are short? That perfectly sums up Elf on GBA. There have been speedruns of this game. The #1 run was done by an individual who goes by Ghostwood. 26 minutes and 26 seconds was the record. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if those were the longest 26 minutes and 26 seconds of his life. Alright, I've had enough. This has been my review of Elf the Movie on Game Boy Advance. Overall, a short but slow ass and also pretty boring game. Just watch the movie, it's much better than this garbage. I bet that so-called world's best cup of coffee is much better than this game. Speaking of coffee, I'm going to the Roost to get me one. So until next time, this is Beneficial Gamer, signing off. Oh, and happy holidays too.